Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to International Rations. What I have for you today is the Slovenian Combat Ration Type A. This is a 24-hour ration and should have everything inside except for water that you need to survive for 24 hours. So without any further ado, you can see all the contents right here, and I'll probably put up a picture of those on the screen so you can see them a little more clearly. But without any sort of ado, let's get right into this. Alright, and here it is, nice and open. Let's see what we have. Alright, the first thing I've picked out of here looks to be a brew kit with some tea and coffee, and maybe some sort of tablets for a fuel burner and some matches, stuff like that. We'll go more depth into that later. Next up, we have this, in English, Adventure Food Expedition Breakfast. This looks like some sort of muesli or something. So we'll get into that for breakfast, for the first meal of the day, of course. Next up is another Adventure Food pasta bolognese, I believe is how you pronounce that. And that's probably for supper. And thirdly, we have, let's see, what is this? A vanilla dessert. So this is probably some sort of a pudding you mix up. Alright, and whatever this is, it's big. Okay, so this is a chicken hot pot. This is not freeze-dried like the other main courses. And there's some other stuff inside there as well. We will get into that later for supper. And then some crispy biscuits, I suppose is what you'd call these. 60-gram packet. Very fluffy, almost like Rice Krispie treats. And another package of the exact same thing. Some plastic silverware along with a napkin. What looks to be a strawberry jam. And these look to be some sort of vitamin tablets or something like that. We'll look a little closer at those later. Alright, and what this is, some kind of bar, probably chocolate bar. This is a fruit bar with vitamins and minerals, so right there. Alright, and this is the chocolate bar. Dark chocolate. This is a very big portion of, I believe this is a pate of some sort. Let me hold it up right here. Alright, I can't find English on this, so we'll look at that later and figure out what it is. Alright, this is a chocolate flavor hyper proteic drink. So maybe some sort of like a chocolate shake mix or something like that. And then instant tea with lemon. I'm not sure if this is a hot tea or a cold, but I'll look at that closer later. We've got another bar. This is also a fruit bar with added vitamins and minerals. Alright, and okay, so this is a salmon pate, which it says it has it on this on the ingredients list. I've never had a salmon pate before, and I've only had a few pates, but it certainly sounds interesting, and we'll be trying that. We've got what looks to be some gum, sugar-free chewing gum with sweeteners. Alright, and that looks to be everything. Nothing more in there. Alright, so I will sort out what I want to eat for breakfast, and I will be right back at you in a second. Alright, so here is what I have prepared for breakfast. We've got the Expedition Breakfast, the muesli here, and I went ahead and put some hot water in there because it needs to sit for about 8 minutes. So that's already being cooked. And one nice thing about this that I want to point out is they have these lovely little markers for how much water you need. And as you can see, this one calls for 5. So you don't need any sort of measuring device or anything, and you don't have to eyeball it, so that's nice. But what I have prepared for breakfast is these vitamin tablets. I'll take one of those, this bar. I'm going to try a little bit of this gum. I have the coffee, the strawberry jam, and I'll try a couple of these crackers or biscuits and utensils. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and prepare this coffee. This has no indicator of how much water you're supposed to mix with it. So I've just got my mug right here. This is the only mug I have here with me, unfortunately. And I'm just going to have to eyeball it until it looks like a nice coffee, because they don't provide any sort of information that I could find on the package of how much you're supposed to mix. So there's the coffee grounds. Alright, without any further ado, I'm just going to try this, see how it is. Tastes like coffee. It's pretty good, actually. It's nice and strong. You could probably even do with a little bit more hot water. It's probably good. It's a nice coffee. I actually like it. It's nothing special, but it's not bad at all. And then I'll be trying these. You know what? Let's go with the bar first. So I was looking at the ingredients while I was doing some other stuff. And the ingredients are actually pretty good. A lot of this is just fruit and stuff like that. So there's the bar. It's just like a compressed fruit bar. It tastes really good. I like it. It's got almost a dessert kind of taste to it. Yeah, that's a good bar. I really like that one. Alright, so here we have our biscuits, or crackers, whatever you want to call them here. Very light and fluffy. These ones aren't smashed up much at all, which is nice, but I would imagine they're pretty brittle. Yeah. They taste kind of like they look. They're light and airy, and I would say they taste like a corn biscuit. Yep, this is corn grits and rice grits, so that's what it tastes like. It's pretty good. I'm going to try a little with the jam now. Jam looks really good. Looks like good jam. Mix it up a little. Yeah, that's pretty good. The biscuit has a really strong flavor. Um, but I would say they work pretty well together. It's not very dry. It doesn't taste like it would dry your mouth out or anything like that. So that's really nice. It's a good, solid biscuit. It's really unique. I've never really seen one like this here in the States or anywhere else for that matter. Um, it's really light and airy and fluffy, and it's interesting that it's made out of corn and rice. It's not something I would have thought of, but it's quite good. I like it. I'll finish all that up later. But for now, it's time to let's try one of these vitamin tablets. It didn't really specify how many you're supposed to take, like in a meal period or in a day or anything like that. So I'm just going to be trying one of these today. It's got, I was looking at it, a lot of vitamins. That's what they are, vitamin tablets. Pretty high carbohydrate as well, and high calorie. I don't know if you're supposed to probably just take this and chew it up like a Smartie. It's pretty good. It's not really something you would eat because it's great or anything, but for vitamins, it doesn't taste much like medicine. It's a little chalky and everything, like you would expect, but it's not bad at all. And it does taste a little bit like these Smarties we have, US Smarties, that is. And I think this is probably about ready, so I'll get this out onto this dish, and I'll see you there. Alright, here we are. Just going to open this up and put it out on the tray. Here it is. I think I've got the right amount of water in there. It doesn't look like I poured in too much. And, oh my. It's not completely mixed. Maybe I put in too little, but we'll see here. So this could obviously be eaten really easily out of this pouch. Everything in this meal could, which is nice. Nice and convenient because you won't probably have dishes if you're eating a ration in most circumstances. But it looks a lot better out on a tray. You can see everything a lot better. It looks like there's real fruit mixed in here. Let me take a look at the ingredients real quick. Okay, so it has a lot of milk powder and oats, hazelnuts, raisins, wheat flakes, that sort of thing. Looks pretty real food. But without any further ado, I think it's ready, so I'll just be trying this real quick. So the taste is definitely comparable to a oatmeal here in the States, with a little less sweetened than most oatmeals would be. It's really good. I like it. It has more of a grit consistency, actually, than oatmeal. It's really good. It's really interesting. It's pretty unique. It's got real fruit in it, and it tastes pretty healthy. It tastes like it's real food. It's not too artificial or processed or anything like that. It tastes really good. I'll definitely be finishing this up off camera, but this about does it for breakfast. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at lunch. Alright, before we actually get into lunch, I almost forgot this sugar-free chewing gum. So here it is. Looks like regular mint chewing gum. Let's see if I can open it up. Yeah, just looks like normal chewing gum. It has a very strong mint flavor, which if you don't like mint, you probably won't like it, but if you do, you'll like this gum. I like it. It's pretty good. It's pretty nice. It's just regular gum. There's really nothing special, but it is nice to get little gum included in a ration like this, just so you have something to keep you occupied, something to chew on. And if you had habits before you joined the Slovenian military, like chewing tobacco, it's a lot better of an alternative. So it's nice that they include this, and it's good gum. Seems like good quality. All right. But that's all for now, and I will see you at lunch. All right, welcome back, everyone. This is what I am preparing for lunch. I've got the crackers, salmon pate, some tea and sugar, the chocolate bar, and the pasta bolognese, and a little sterile wipe to wash your hands with. So I'll start by preparing this, and I'll be right back. Alright, so while we wait on that, I'm going to go ahead and prepare this tea. It says you can prepare this hot or cold, and to use 800 milliliters of water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 400 milliliters of water and prepare it cold. And then for supper, I'm going to have 400 milliliters of hot tea. Alright, that looks more or less right. Let me get my water here. Alright, and that should be about 400 milliliters. Alright, so here's what it looks like. Looks like tea. Try this real quick. And it's really strong. I think I'll pour just a little more water in here, but that is a really good tea, actually. I had some sugar there just in case it needs sweetened, but it's a very nice, pleasant, sweet lemon tea. It tastes a little bit like an Arnold Palmer, which is half lemonade and half sweet tea, but I would say it's actually better. It's a really good tea. A really nice, pleasant drink. I really like it. And then next up, what we have here is this salmon pate. At least judging by the picture of a salmon on the front. And I know we're going to get a salmon pate, so this is probably it. Ooh. Alright, and there we go. Here's our salmon pate. I don't know if this needs mixed or anything. It doesn't look like it. Looks like this is just how it is. I think it's mostly meant to be spread on crackers, but I'm going to try it just like it is real quick here. Ooh. That's definitely salmon. It's really interesting. Stuff like this here in the US is not really popular. We don't really have meat spreads or fish spreads that I've ever seen. It's really unique. It's pretty good. I'm going to try it on this cracker. It's almost like a salmon butter, which is a weird thing to say, but it's so smooth. It spreads just like a butter. And this would actually make a really good dip for like chips and stuff like that. Which is probably the most comparable thing that we would have is some sort of a salmon dip. Yeah, that's definitely unique. I like it. It's pretty good. It's really different, especially with the cracker, the corn cracker. It's a little weird. But I would say it's good. I like it. It's different and exotic, I suppose. Alright, so this pasta bolognese has been here for about 8 minutes, which is the required time. So what it says to do next is open it up and give it a stir, and then eat it. So we'll be doing that real quick. Alright, and let's get this into my little bowl here. Uh-oh. My bowl is almost too small. It's a big portion. Here we go. Alright, and you're not going to starve with this. Between all the salmon and the other meat pâtés and crackers and some good-sized main portions, it's pretty good. Good-sized portions, so I'm going to say a prayer and get right into this. Alright, so let's try this. I don't know if I've ever had this before, pasta bolognese. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. But it's really good. It's piping hot. I put pretty much boiling water in there. And it's really good quality. It doesn't taste like it's been freeze-dried. The noodles are nice and soft. And sometimes when you try to reconstitute freeze-dried stuff, dump water in it, the meat will be crunchy at its core. And the outside will be fine, but there will be a crunch inside. No hint of that here. Perfectly reconstituted, and I wouldn't think a thing about it if I got served this at a restaurant. It tastes really high quality. The sauce is great. There's cheese, there's meat, a little bit of vegetables, some peas and tomato. This is an excellent dish. I've been talking too long about it, but I'm going to finish this up and get into that chocolate bar. Alright, I'm done with that pasta now, and I have to say it didn't disappoint at all. I would say it was restaurant grade food, which is really impressive for being freeze dried. It reconstituted perfectly. It was really good. One of the better pastas I've had. But now let's get into this chocolate bar here. And little piece has already broken off. A couple of little pieces. It's got a little pattern of a leaf in there. That's nice. Looks like it handled transit pretty well. There's no scoring or anything. Yeah, that's good chocolate. I don't usually just eat chocolate. I really like chocolate dishes, chocolate desserts. It's not something I typically eat on its own, but it is really good chocolate. And I would say it's certainly better than something like a Hershey's bar or something like that. A lot better quality. And it tastes better. It's really nice chocolate. As you can see, I don't know if you can read those ingredients, but it's pretty much just sugar and cocoa butter, stuff like that, and a little bit of vanilla for flavoring. So it's pretty natural. It's pretty good chocolate. Like I said, I don't normally eat just chocolate, but it is good. And let's test out one of these hand sanitizers. It's like a wet napkin. Pretty regular hand sanitizers. I would imagine in a pinch you could probably clean some of your plates or dishes with this. I don't know if it would be good for an eating surface, but you could probably just rinse it off and it would probably sterilize it okay. But that was lunch, and I will see you at supper. We're going to be having the chicken hot pot and some other stuff. I think it's going to be really good. Alright, as you can see, I have prepared everything that I am going to be eating for supper. Actually, this is everything that was left over from me making all the other meals. I won't be eating all of this. I'm going to save a little bit to give to some other people and stuff like that. So we'll have our pâté, some of these crackers, this pudding, and this hot pot, as well as a couple of drinks there. And then it's just these pack of matches and some sugar and antiseptic. You can see we still have plenty left to eat for supper. So I'm going to start by getting this chicken hot pot in the flameless ration heater that we have here. as well as getting the hot tea into here, and I will see you there. Let's see if this tea is as good hot as it is cold. That is just hands down some of the best tea I have ever had. I don't know any other way to put it. It is probably just the best I've ever had. The lemon flavor, and I don't really like lemon, but the lemon flavor is absolutely perfect. It's very strong, but it's not assaulting your senses, if that makes any sense at all. It's just the best I've ever had. I'm really happy with it. And I kind of wish I could get this somewhere here in the States because it is incredible. Alright, and I don't know if you can hear that, but our FRH seems to be working. Creating a little steam here. Oh my. Probably do well to let a little bit of that out. Oh my. This is kind of how they're supposed to work, I believe, just sort of like a pressure cooker. And certainly got the pressure part down pat there. Certainly warm. There we go. Settled down a little bit. Alright, so next up what I have here is this chocolate flavor hypoproteic drink. I've never heard that word before. And it doesn't tell me how much water to put in with this, so I'm just going to eyeball it. Alright, so here that is. I'm starting to think it's supposed to be warm, seeing how this isn't dissolving quite right. But I'm just going to roll with it and try it and see if it's any good. Yeah, that tastes really strange cold. I don't know if it would taste any better hot, to be honest. It tastes very weird. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to drink that. It's probably pretty good if it's prepared correctly, but there were no instructions, so I have no idea how it's supposed to be prepared. Yeah, that just tastes downright strange. I think I'm going to leave that there for now. Alright, so next up what I have is this, what was labeled on the product list was canned meat. It didn't say pate. I'm not really sure if there's much of a distinction. But I'm going to be trying this and then trying it with some crackers. And there's what it looks like. Smells pretty salty, maybe a little bit like Spam. It's not nearly as soft or spreadable as the other one was. Yeah, it's quite salty. It's somewhat comparable to Spam. I bet this would taste pretty good if you fried it up or something like that. I don't know if it's really meant to be eaten with a cracker, but I'm going to anyway. It's pretty unique. Tastes almost a little bit like the salmon pate in a strange way. I don't think there's any salmon in it though. If I had to guess, I would say pork, but I really don't know. I'd have to translate the ingredient list because there's not an English one. This cracker didn't fare too well. These crackers, they really have a strong flavor, and they kind of subdue whatever you put on top of them in a way. Um, so it's a good thing I like the crackers, but it's kind of hard to tell how this tastes with it on top. Yeah, I really don't know. It's pretty good. I like it. I'll be finishing it. Um, but I will be getting set up for the main course, and I'll see you there. So, unfortunately, the footage for the chicken hot pot was lost, but I will do my best to summarize how it was for you. So, it was a very hearty meal with wholesome ingredients. In fact, it only had about 10 of them, and none of them were highly processed foods or preservatives or anything like that. But in my opinion, it did lack spice and flavor, especially when compared to the other freeze dried meals that were a little bit less healthy with a lot more preservatives and stuff like that. So it was a very filling and quite healthy and wholesome meal. And overall, I would say 7 or 8 out of 10. It just really lacks spice and flavor. However, if you do really prioritize healthy and organic food, then it would probably be closer to a 9 out of 10 for you. Um, and as for the flameless ration heater, I think it did really well. The entire meal was hot all the way through. One of the better ones I've seen. You can see in some of the footage, it was really cooking away there. It reacted perfectly with the water. So, yeah, that's about it. Again, I'm really sorry about that lost footage, but now let's get on to the vanilla pudding dessert. Alright, up next is this adventure food vanilla dessert, which I would assume to be some sort of pudding or something. Um, Here are the instructions right there. Simple and easy to follow, so I'm going to prepare this real quick, and I will see you there. Alright, so I have no idea if I put in the right amount of water for this, but it really doesn't seem like it has enough in there. I'm going to dump this out on the tray, but I do have a little bit of water here to add, if it seems like there's just not enough water. This is definitely not a pudding consistency. Hold on a second, I'm going to put some more water in and see if that makes it a little better. Alright, so here it is. This is the best I could prepare it with how much water I put in there. I think it's probably going to be a little thin, but it was hard to get it right. It doesn't seem quite right, doesn't seem quite mixed, and there might be too much water in here. But it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I'm going to try it right now. Alright, yeah, I definitely messed that up a little. It's not very well mixed, and I would say it's pretty well reconstituted though. And in spite of my preparation failure, it actually is pretty good. It's a nice sweet vanilla dessert. Doesn't taste quite like pudding. It's really unique. It's almost like a rice dish, like a rice pudding or something. I don't quite know how to describe it. Maybe there is rice in here. Alright, so while I was checking the ingredients list, I noticed there was a lot of more pudding in the bottom. So I shook that out and tried to mix it up a little to see if it would make any sort of difference. It's still mostly the same. There's kind of little clumps in here that haven't reconstituted properly. That's probably my fault. I actually like it anyway. It's not a bad dessert at all. It's nice and sweet. It's unique to see a pudding in a ration. Normally they're prepared foods like cakes or cookies or something like that. So it's a nice change of pace. I like it okay. It would probably be a lot better if it reconstituted right. But regardless, it is really good. It's a huge step up from this chocolate drink, which I just could not figure out. And it tastes really weird. It would have probably been fine maybe if I heated it, but I don't know. I'm not gonna mess with it too much. Overall, I really liked pretty much everything in here except for that drink. That was a pretty big letdown. The main course, the chicken hot pot, wasn't bad at all. But it was kind of a step back from all the other freeze-dried mains that had a lot more spices and stuff like that in them. Uh, Everything was good though. I liked the crackers, all the pâtés. I would probably rate this at least let's go with an 8.5 out of 10. There were some things that I think could have been better, and the salmon pâté was good. It just didn't quite agree with me. It's probably because I'm American. We just don't eat stuff like that. I think it was really high quality though. Um, and like I said, everything was pretty good. 8.5 out of 10 is, I would say, a pretty good rating for especially Ration. Um, I think if this chicken hot pot had a little more spices and whatnot in there, it would be a lot better. On the bright side, though, it's really natural, and there are like less than 10 ingredients, so that's a plus, especially if you really like that sort of thing. And then the last thing to check out here, actually, are just these matches. Oh my, got vanilla pudding all over my hands. They give you a lot of them, but they're just these little, certainly not windproof matches. I'm gonna step up where I can do this a little safer. Oh. Well, that's one down. Okay, that's two down. See how long it takes to get one right. There we go. Alright, nothing special about these at all, and they're not windproof or anything. But considering how many hot drinks and hot stuff in general there is in here, like you have to heat the water for the pasta bolognese. Certainly very helpful to have some sort of matches in here so you can start a fire or light up some fuel tablets for a burner. But that about does it. I thought it was overall a really good ration, and there's not much they could do to improve. I don't think the salmon pate could be improved per se. I think it just wasn't to my taste. And the chicken hot pot could use some spices. One thing I liked about it was that everything was pretty easy to prepare. And for stuff that wasn't like the freeze dried, if you were in a pinch, if you didn't have a lot of water or you couldn't heat it, you wouldn't necessarily need to eat those to get enough food to survive, because you have the two pâtés, the crackers, and the chicken hot pot, as well as two cereal bars, fruit bars, not cereal bars, fruit bars, as well as those vitamin tablets, which actually have a lot of carbohydrates in them. Not really enough to sustain you, but it'll help. Between all of that, you could survive without using the freeze-dried components if you had no spare water, which is always a plus. I thought everything was pretty well thought out, and there's certainly plenty of food here. You're not going to go hungry at all. So I really liked it. Please let me know any thoughts or comments you had, and what you think I should do for my next video. I'm completely open to suggestions, and please like and subscribe, of course. And I will also put down in the description of the video the search for eBay where I got this. I can't put in any links, but I'll put in the exact words to search to find the listing of the guy that I got this from, as well as his username. He offered a really good price. It was a lot less than the one on another website, which are going for, without shipping included, $100 plus like $20 for shipping. This one I got for around $55, so it was a lot better of a deal. So I'll put that down below. And that about wraps everything up. But thank you very much for watching, and consider subscribing and liking, and I'd appreciate a comment. Thank you very much.